Well, guys, welcome to this episode of the Dreams Guide podcast. My name is John Thomas, and we get to look at another dream. This one has another live dreamer and a friend of mine named Jeremy. So, Jeremy, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
So, you had a dream. First, tell us about how long ago did you have this dream?
It was about 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. Awesome. Nice and recent.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did you dream?
Well, first of all, I know I'm in Alaska, and it's just vibrant colors. Like the only way I can describe it is if you're looking at a 4K TV, the colors were even more brilliant and crisp and everything. So we're in Alaska, and it's a birthday party for one of my really good friends, Austin, that passed away. So we're there, and then there's this little trail to get back to their place where they're having the party, and it's beautiful, like forest trail, and it goes over this clear crystal blue. Well, it's more like a crystalline color water.
Wow.
And you can see the mountains off in the back, and you go about 30 or 40 more yards and you're at the birthday party. So we're going over there, and I know we're in Alaska, and we're crossing over this. I also know that the reason why we're going is somebody let out some dangerous animals, so we had to go this way. And also that in this crystalline waterway, there are two animals that get let out, or mammals, I should say. And it's kind of scary in a sense, because they're there to protect the water from. And it's not like they'll eat you, but it's not like malicious. It's just they're there to protect. It's natural. I didn't have this sense of dread or anything like that. That they're something other than just protecting it.
Okay.
But we could play in it and all that, and so we're crossing over. And Austin says, go ahead without me. Go ahead over there. I'll come over there after y'all get over there. So we're crossing over, and something in my mind is screaming that there's something wrong. And I'm yelling across the way to Austin, going, "Why aren't you coming over here? What's wrong?" And his family's there, and they don't seem to have a problem with him not coming over. And I just sense that something's wrong. And I'm looking at him. I'm watching him the whole time. Even when I'm crossing over, I'm watching him, making sure. Because in the back of my head I'm like, why is he in this dream? Why is this dream about this? Because he's passed away. So to me, it's really important for him. And then he looks at me, and he starts to tear up in his eyes. I can see in his eyes that they're starting to tear up. No tears or anything, but it's like he wants to tell me something, but he can't. And then I'm like, why didn't you come over here? Why don't you come over here? Come on. And nobody else is saying this stuff. Everybody else is like at the party. They're having a great time.
Yeah.
And so he starts to come over, and he jumps and spins over the waterway. He's doing like spins. So we were all into gymnastics back then. So he was spinning. And then all of a sudden he burst into like a fireworks display with golden sparks, and it looked like like you've seen the Mexican pinwheels
Yeah.
where it when it catches on fire it just throws this golden sparks out and everything, and he looked like that, and all of a sudden he transformed into just a I would say a golden light and just shot straight up, and that was the end of the dream.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting one. All right, so let's see how much I can remember. So in the dream, you are in Alaska, and it's kind of a beautiful, pristine, lots of light, full of color, gorgeous, everything's perfect. And you're with your friend Austin that has passed away, and you're going to his birthday. And it's 30 or 40 yards through this wood path. It's beautiful woods. There's this beautiful waterway that's right there. You're going to have to cross over the waterway. And you're walking towards the birthday party. And you know that there had been some dangerous animals that had been let out. And so you had to be on this path to get there. And then also as you get to the water, you know that there were some dangerous, but not dangerous in the negative sense, but dangerous mammals that were in the water that were protectors, but they were only protecting the water for what shouldn't be there. So you had no fear of what would happen for you being there, but you knew that there was a seriousness that this is a holy place. Like there's something going to happen if things go wrong here. And so as you're getting to this waterway, your friend Austin, he says, you go on ahead. I'll follow you in just a second. You're thinking, well, okay. And so you go through the water, and then you're like, well, wait a second. Why isn't he coming? So you turn around, like, come on, let's go. And as you're looking at him, you can tell there's something wrong. Like there's just something doesn't feel right. And then you notice that he's starting to tear up, and you're asking, well, why aren't you with us? Why aren't you coming? And you can tell he wants to say something, but he can't say something. And you're like, come on, you've got to come. Like, and you keep on inviting him to come. And finally he starts to come. And as he gets to the water, he jumps up and spins, which wouldn't have been unusual. So jumps up and spins, but as he spins, all these bright lights and colors start flying out of him, kind of like the Mexican pinwheel type of idea. And as that's happening, all of a sudden he bursts into this golden light that is golden or white? Golden light, and it shoots straight up into heaven, and that's the end of the dream. Now, one of the other pieces was while you're inviting him and thinking something's wrong, everybody else is just enjoying the party, not thinking anything of it, ignoring what's going on. Okay. So here's one of the things. So when you have somebody that has passed away in your dreams, it can have different meanings depending on the relationship. It could mean something that maybe a calling or a destiny that was on that person, a gifting on that person. Could be about a relationship. Sometimes, like if it's a family member, it can represent something in the bloodline, an inheritance issue. Right. This being a best friend and somebody that, if I remember correctly, because we have a relationship, right. So I know a little bit about Austin. Like he was a God seeker. He just went after it, and that was the relationship that you guys had, like this hungering after God, the beauty of God, and a birthday is what were you born for? So trying to get to the birthday is trying to get to the destiny, trying to get to what he was born for. And there was something that he was born for. And you started a path with him. And you came to the river of God. And you walked through it, but he didn't get to make it. And you've never understood why he didn't make it. Like you could recognize the destiny that was on his life, and you were willing to do whatever it takes to help him get to that destiny. But he never got there. He actually shot up, right? But the destiny was fulfilled through others. The destiny was fulfilled through others. And you are standing where you're at because of the path that you walked with him. I think in some ways this is a little bit of a healing dream for you, but it's also a reminder of the path that you guys were on. You're still on the path. Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. I was still racking my brain, probably more about why was he in? Why did I? Because I I've had many dreams since his passing, but I haven't. There's only been two dreams that I've had with him in it since his passing.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that
Well, and the
was
way you described that dream, I mean, it was almost like a heavenly place. Like,
yeah. It was
and for you, I just wonder, I don't know about this in the natural, but I would just wonder, like, Alaska would almost be like nature's paradise.
yeah, yeah,
Like that kind of idea of like the idyllic setting, the beauty, but it's also the rugged, the adventure.
yeah,
Um, and so it's that setting. That was the heavenly path that you were on. Like you were exploring some stuff.
yeah. We uh, Austin and I, we pushed each other in gymnastics, and we pushed each other in like I taught him how to dance, and so we'd push each other and compete against other people, and then we were just you know uh, like that, just saying, hey, what about this, what about this, hey, did you sense this, did you sense that? So yeah, I can definitely see where that would come in. That would and but I don't understand, you know, the path that we had to take, and then everybody is going on before, and nobody's, because their relationship with him was a whole lot deeper than mine in a sense
Mhm.
of, you know, relationally, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and I just never understood that part, um, which now may get it to where God's saying, "Hey, look, you're you're still on that path, and
Yeah.
I'm wanting you to adventure some more."
Yeah. Yeah. Some other people, they've been able to settle with where he's at. Like he was born, they've been able to settle. But you're still on a path. And though you've settled with the idea that he's gone in some levels, but there was something that has haunted you because there was something left unfinished.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
destiny that you had together, you get to fulfill. When something is stolen, there's always justice. And the enemy tried to steal the destiny that was on him. Because which you guys don't know, but I know is he died in a car wreck. That it was an unjust death. Um,
Yeah.
there's an injustice there, but there's also redemption. Doesn't mean you're the only one that'll get that redemption, but you had something unique that you get to fulfill that was part of that call.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in response to this dream, one of the things that I would suggest is asking the Lord to show you how to continue on the path that He intended, that God intended, from what was there. What was it that you put in that relationship and that was in His destiny that I can be a part of? What do I get to fulfill? Because when there's destiny, when there's purpose in the kingdom, there's always whatever's needed to accomplish it. You never get a promise without provision. And so if there's destiny to be fulfilled, if there's a promise of what can be, there's the provision that gets with it. So as you position yourself to fulfill the promise, the provision will automatically show up. Don't figure out what the provision is and wait for it. Start walking into the promise, and the provision will automatically show up as you walk it out. And so, Lord, what is that piece? How do I continue on this path? Okay, he went up in glory,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, the beautiful picture of glory, like, he went up in glory. Now, what's the next step for me? How do I continue on this path? And it's the key. Part of the key was that water, because that water is the move of God. That was the river. I don't remember how long ago. What year was it when he passed?
1996.
Right in the middle of the river.
February, Ash Wednesday.
Right in the middle of the river. 94, 95,
Yes.
96.
Yes.
Right in the
Yes.
middle of the river. He went up in glory. And there was something released that you get to carry. It's no mistake that earlier when we were chatting, we were talking about those days and what God was doing.
Yes.
It's not a mistake.
Yes.
There's a key there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Come on, Jesus.
Yeah.
Can I pray for you?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this dream. It's like, let's release this. Well, Lord, whatever it is that is released upon Jeremy's life, whatever call there is that he got to start walking with his friend, that you are releasing for him to continue forward, and all the provision, all the giftings, all the knowledge, all the understanding, all the open doors that are needed, Lord, the relationships that are needed for that to be fulfilled, we just release it and we agree with heaven right now. We just say yes and amen.
Yes.
To what you're doing in and through him. Pull him forward on the path. Pull him forward on the path to the full celebration of what this relationship was born to accomplish. And we bless it in the name of Jesus Christ.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Jesus.
So, in a sense, what were the two mammals? I mean, in the water. I know that they were there protected, but
yeah, there was angelic assignments on the move of God, that those that would try to pollute what God was doing, they would be judged. Those that stepped in and that it was getting them on their path, no problem. But if they were to violate, there would have been quick judgment.
and that's kind of the sense that I had in the dream.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't really have any issues.
Yeah, God will protect his. And that's the fear of the Lord. Like knowing, like, ooh, this is serious. I don't have to be afraid because I'm not going to violate it. But I better not mess around, because if I do violate it, I will be very afraid.
Yes.
And that's the appropriate fear of the Lord.
Right.
Like we walk in that, not in the fear of making a mistake, but in the holiness of the call and the holiness of what he's put in us.
Yeah, that's really cool. But that's and what is Alaska? Because I've never even been to Alaska.
Yeah.
I mean, how does I know the adventure and that kind of
the
thing.
Adventure, like the wilderness paradise. It's almost like this paradise. It's pristine. It's a place that, I mean, people have been there, but it still feels untouched.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's a road not many have walked. And while there's dangers outside, as long as you stay on the path, you don't have to worry about the dangers. Like there's a lot of danger. I mean, you play around in Alaska without knowing how to protect yourself from the danger, you may not live through it. You probably won't live through it.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, there's that piece of it, but as long as you stay on the path, you're good. Just stay on the path. So there's a little bit of that, and then just the rawness of this is how God created it, and it hasn't been polluted yet. Which I know that to some level there's pollution, but that feel,
the mystique and
the mystique.
I'm still processing the whole thing where I'm like, because I was really trying to figure it out. I was going through the dream book, and I was like, okay, well this kind of means this means this, but then I would get to a certain point where I would like, this is not. I got to start all over, and I was like, I have no idea what exactly is here,
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean that's one of the things about dream interpretation, and I was trying to, even as I wrote that dream elements, I'm trying to explain to people like these are ideas to get you thinking so that you can pray and ask God, but don't use it like a dictionary. It's an alternative dream
right.
dictionary.
Right, but I mean, I would
right.
literally be going
Because of
over it
that
like
process.
2 or 3 times, going,
Right.
I'm
But
just
what
not
about
getting
this?
any. I'm not
Yeah.
getting anywhere. Why do
Yeah.
I know it's Alaska? I was like, I've never been to Alaska. Why do I know it's Alaska?
Yeah, some people have been able to make peace with it, but there was something you knew something spiritually, right? Because there's something's not right, and so you've recognized the injustice spiritually because you're part of the justice. People that aren't part of it, they don't need to know it.
Okay.
But people that are part of the justice, they need to know the injustice because it'll cause them to pursue justice.
Which would explain some other things in my life during that time as well. As we talked about a little bit.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, that's good, man. Thank you so much for sharing your dream.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
I appreciate
really
it.
appreciate it.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to share it.
Yeah, of course. Well, guys, thanks for joining us for this episode of the Dream Sky Podcast. My name is John Thomas, and we will see you next time. Keep dreaming.